And Gog and Magog are released into the world. And when they are released in the world,
Assalamualaikum, jumpa lagi di channel Bang Napsur Official. Apa kabar friend? Insya Allah sehat selalu. Terima kasih ya telah membuka video ini. Bagi teman-teman yang beragama Islam, jangan lupa sholat 5 waktu ya. Sholat berjamaah di masjid lebih utama daripada sholat sendirian di rumah. Kali ini saya ada satu video seorang syekh, yaitu Syeikh Imran Hosein. Ini dari channel Hidayah Channel. Kenapa Anda berpendapat Yakjuj dan Makjuj sudah dilepaskan? Ini temanya menarik ini, tentang Yakjuj dan Makjuj. Bagaimana Yakjuj dan Makjuj? Apakah sudah dilepaskan? Langsung aja kita tonton ceramahnya. Oke? Ayo. Hidayah Channel.
Why do you hold the opinion that Gog and Magog have already been released in the world, despite there apparently being clear narrations that they will be released after the descent of Isa alayhi salam?
There is an abundance of material. I have written a book on this subject, and they know my views already.
Oh, dia sudah.
I don't have to repeat the views. I don't have to explain the Quran 100,000 times, okay? It doesn't make sense for me to spend another half an hour here in explaining what I've explained already in the Quran and the Hadith so many times. It doesn't make any difference for them. It's like water on the backs of a duck. But if you continue attacking me and defaming me and engaging in character assassination and so on, and if you tell lies about me and you close the doors of the masjid on my, remember, one day, I hope that day never comes. But one day I can challenge you, and I'll choose the name of one of your outstanding leaders, if he dares to mention his name. I say, come, if you represent this group who are adamant that Gog and Magog have not as yet been released, and I am wrong, and bring your wives and children, and I bring my wives and children, as Allah has said in the Quran, Mubahala. And let us pray to Allah to punish whosoever is in error. That day can come if you force me. I wish that that day never comes.
It won't,
because I prefer that you present your views and allow me to present my views. Don't try to shut me down and stop me. It's shameful when you try to silence me. But rather, the method which has more integrity in it is allow me to speak. The masjid must be free. The masjid is an area of freedom. Allow me to speak, and you speak, and let the people decide. Let the people choose, not to shut the doors of the masjid as they did to me in Birmingham with shamelessness. And I don't know what it is I have done to the Deobandi ulama in this country. I went to Pakistan, where there's so much of this sectarian divisions, and the Ahle Hadith have their headquarters in Lahore.
Pakistan.
And the Ahle Hadith invited me. I said, okay, I'm going. I was expecting perhaps some sectarian discussions. I spent 2 hours with the Ahle Hadith, nothing on sectarianism. They all wanted to know eschatology.
Ahle Hadith or the other group?
Ahle Hadith, yeah. At the end of 2 hours, I said, okay, brother, time for me to go. They said, no, you can't go. I said, we have lunch now. And they kept me for another hour and a half. And 3.5 hours, and there was no sectarian arguments. This is wonderful. I come to Britain, and the Deobandi ulama in Britain, I don't even know them. And they are forefront in shameless hostility and shutting the doors of the masjid on me. No, this is not the way.
Is it perhaps sufficient to speak about how there's maybe from my understanding, from listening to yourself, when it comes to Yajuj Majuj being released, the problem seems to be in the understanding of there being two different Arabic words being used, one being Futihat and one being Ba'tha.
No, not only that.
Yeah.
It's not just a case of Futihat and Ba'tha. In the Hadith, after Nabi Isa alayhi salam returned, the Messiah has returned, and after he has killed Dajjal, then the Hadith says that Allah will send Gog and Magog.
Yeah.
And the first of them will pass by the Sea of Galilee. This is the first of them to pass after the killing of Dajjal. They'll pass by the Sea of Galilee and drink the water. And by the time the last of them all pass, they say there used to be water here. So whatever remains in the Sea of Galilee as water, when Jesus comes, whatever remains will quickly dry up, and the Sea of Galilee will become dry. How much time will that take? I can't tell. It could take a few weeks. The hadith is that Allah will send Gog and Magog, and they'll be heading past the Sea of Galilee to Jerusalem. So they'll be coming from the north. It's in geography. And Allah will destroy Gog and Magog in Jerusalem. So Gog and Magog have a destiny connected with Jerusalem, because Allah will destroy them in Jerusalem. How many times must I repeat that? Good.
Yes.
Now we leave Suratul Kahf and we go to Suratul Anbiya. And in Suratul Anbiya we have a different word, not Ba'atha, Futihat. Futihat is to release, Ba'atha is to send. We are more concerned with the word Futihat because Zulkarnain built a barrier, and it has to be north of Jerusalem.
Utara Jerusalem.
And on one side there is the sea, the Black Sea, Ainun Hamiyah. Ibn Kathir recognized it in his tafsir as the Black Sea. And on the other side is the Caspian Sea, and between are the Caucasus Mountains. And in the Caucasus Mountains there's only one pass, and that's where he built the barrier. And when he built the barrier, Gog and Magog could neither penetrate nor could they scale. They can't be angels because they commit fasad, angels don't. They can't be jinn because jinn could fly over the barrier, they could pass through the barrier. So therefore the only other creatures created by Allah are human beings. Only human beings. So Gog and Magog are human beings, but they're human beings who have a power that even Zulkarnain could not resist. He cannot destroy them.
Okay.
So they are the most powerful people that mankind will ever witness in history. And when they are released, Allah bring down the barrier. Then witness, then mankind will witness. Now listen carefully, Uwais. You will listen to me. They heard me 100,000 times. They would not. It goes from one ear, comes out of the other. They lack the capacity to think. They refuse to think. They're afraid to think. But the people, the young people I met in Pakistan, mashallah, in the university, they're quick in thinking, quick in understanding. I was delighted with my visit to Pakistan. These people can think.
They have less to lose.
These people, others, these critics, they've stopped thinking and they don't want to think. So now here is, a people who are human beings, who have a power unmatched in history, not even Zulkarnain can match their power, but who use their power to commit fasad. Fasad is that which corrupts to the extent it can destroy.
Yeah.
These people are released by Allah. And when they are released by Allah, then, says Suratul Anbiya, a people who belong to a town A town which was destroyed by Allah. This is verses 95 and 96 of Surah Al-Anbiya. وَحَرَامٌ عَلَى قَرْيَةٍ أَهْلَكْنَاهَا أَنَّهُمْ لَا يَرْجِعُونَ. It doesn't matter if I explain this verse a million times. They don't register. It goes out of one ear and goes, but the other people listening can understand because they have intelligence. They have common sense. They have wisdom. They can understand. A town which is destroyed by Allah. وَحَرَامٌ عَلَى قَرْيَةٍ أَهْلَكْنَاهَا أَنَّهُمْ لَا يَرْجِعُونَ. The people were expelled, and a ban was placed on them that they could never return to reclaim that town as their own. Hatta, until when? إِذَا فُتِحَتْ يَأْجُوجَ وَمَأْجُوجَ. Until Allah brings down the barrier. And Gog and Magog are released into the world. And when they are released in the world, وَهُمْ مِنْ كُلِّ حَدَبٍ يَنْسِلُونَ. They spread out all over the world. And therefore, Uwais, listen to me, Uwais, this will be an event which will occur only once in history. You got to be blind not to see it. You have to have your intellect in concrete not to see it. You have to consider knowledge to be a package, just to be handed down from one generation to another with no thinking process, not to see it. But mashallah for the world today that we have people who can think. This will be an event which will occur only once in history. That a people with irresistible power, who use their power to oppress and to corrupt, will spread out all over the world and can take control of power in the world. When they do that, then these people will bring that people who were expelled from that city, bring them back to that town to reclaim it as their own. Which town is it? Even a schoolboy will know that Gog and Magog are connected with Jerusalem. Even a schoolboy. So I'm wasting my time trying to convince people who can never be convinced. So who are Gog and Magog? No. Gog and Magog will only be released at that time. Let them remain with their nonsense where they are. I have no time for them. Always don't ask me to teach them anything. They are a hopeless people. But the rest of the world can think. Gog and Magog are located in modern Western civilization. I have this lecture on Monday night here in London.
Yeah.
Gog and Magog are not only located in Western civilization, rather they are those who control power in modern Western civilization. Not all of Western civilization, Gog and Magog, because Gog and Magog are those who control power. They control the media. They control the armed forces. They control the political system. Those are Gog and Magog. And on Judgment Day, let me warn them, on Judgment Day, you will have to answer for having betrayed the Quran.
Allah. Ya, itu tadi yang disampaikan oleh Syeikh Imran Hosein berkenaan dengan Yakjuj dan Makjuj. Wallahu alam, saya tidak bisa menjawab apakah Yakjuj dan Makjuj telah keluar, dan itu adalah pendapat masing-masing orang, masing-masing kita perlu hargai ya. Dan tapi yang satu yang harus kita yakini bahwa Yakjuj dan Makjuj adalah salah satu tanda dari kiamat. Oke, mungkin itu aja video saya. Insya Allah ada manfaatnya bagi saya dan kita semua. Jika suka video ini, jangan lupa like, komen, dan subscribe channel Bang Nafsur Official. Terima kasih telah menonton. Salam sehat selalu dan assalamualaikum.